Hi, this is Pastor Rick. I'm very glad you joined me again. I wanted to read a passage of Scripture. It's in Psalms chapter 2. It says, "Why are the nations in an uproar, and the peoples devising a vain thing? The kings of the earth take their stand, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us tear their fetters apart and cast their cords from us. Well, he who sits in heaven laughs, the Lord scoffs at them. Then he will speak to them in his anger and terrify them in his fury, saying, But as for me, I have installed my king upon Zion, my holy mountain." When it says, "Why are the nations in the uproar?" I was thinking, boy, does that sound like modern times. This was written 3,000 years ago. So people really haven't changed very much in their behavior. And it says, "And why are the peoples devising a vain thing?" A vain thing here is when people try to come up with solutions to problems on their own without consulting God. You see, God actually did create everything that exists. He does know a lot about how to make things work. He understands us perfectly well. And when people try to figure out how to solve problems without consulting God or looking at the Bible and finding wisdom from it, they're going to find themselves struggling and struggling and struggling. And that's why the nations end up in a big uproar. People get angry at their government. The government tries to control the people. The nations get into conflict with one another, and you know the story. It just goes on and on. The kings of the earth, it says, take their stand. What happens is a lot of times people that get elected to a government office think that they are the leader. They think they are in control and in charge. And the longer they stay in leadership, the more they try to maintain control over all their subjects, us, the people. And the problem is when the kings take their stand, it's because they've come to the place where they think they really don't need your input or mine. They certainly don't need God's input. And they're just going to take their stand and do whatever they think that they want to do. And they're just looking at one another, kind of measuring each other up, seeing who they think is the strongest, who are they afraid of, and so forth, trying to make alliances. In fact, it even says that the rulers take counsel together. I think every time I see one of our leaders travel to a foreign nation and they talk to them about how to make the peace or how to resolve problems, and a lot of times we give them money or we make pacts and agreements with them, hoping that somehow by helping them or helping their cause that they're going to cooperate with us, when actually they don't like us, they don't agree with us. They're just sizing us up and figuring out every time we give them part of our treasure, they've just got more of our treasure, and they totally disregard anything that's good or right. And it says, and the reason for all this is it says they take counsel together against the Lord. So oftentimes when people make decisions without God's counsel, what they do is they totally disrespect God. They act as if they're God. They're in charge. We submit to them. We have to submit to them. And so it says, the people get into a big uproar, and it says, they say, "Let us tear their fetters apart and cast their cords from us." What it means is we are sick and tired of having the government leaders trying to control us and perhaps tax us, whatever. And we end up getting into an angry fit, and we decide that we want to take back control for ourselves. The problem is, who are we going to install as our next leader? Is that person going to be a person who fears God and trusts Him and wants to do the right thing because it's right? Or are we going to find another leader because he was better looking or stronger or richer or could talk better than the other guy? Are we going to end up with another leader that's going to take his stand against us and against God? Well, I don't know, but the Bible is very clear about it. These things do happen, and it's always because people and their leaders don't consider God in their decisions. I want to encourage you today to seriously think about trusting your life to God and His Son, Jesus Christ. Come and check it out. I'd love to have you come and visit us.